So guys, welcome to this video. It's been more than a year that I haven't done any videos, so I'm looking forward to this one. What I like to discuss in this video is Workspace and why I believe Workspace is probably the best option for your Olympus or OM system camera. Right now you see my blog. I like to invite you to go and have a look at the blog. There are many articles about Workspace also, and they're all designed to help Olympus and OM system photographers. So I want to kick off with this diagram. I use it quite a lot in my articles, and it's basically a image signal flow diagram from the scene to the memory card, if you may. And here you can see on the left the scene, and then the reflected light going through the lens, aperture and shutter, and then exposing the sensor. The sensor records the data and transfer the data in either digital or analog format. In modern cameras like the OM3 it would be digital, to the image processor. And here we can see the main functions that we are interested here inside the image processor, and then the final editing steps, and then saving the image onto a memory card. What is important to note here is I control the light, or the amount of exposure I'm giving the sensor through the aperture shutter. It's therefore important to always think of your aperture shutter combination and how much light is reaching the sensor. So this part here, step one if you may, is all happening while we're photographing out in the field. The second part of having the information inside the image processor can be shared at home in Workspace. So this is one of the unique aspects of Workspace, is that we get access to the processing, the image processing that Olympus or OM system does in the image processor, or the TruePic processor. So we can simulate this process here in Workspace and save a similar or a similar looking JPEG file than what the camera would have done from a RAW file. So I'm taking the raw data, which is captured by the sensor, it's processed into an image and saved onto a memory card. What we also see here is the exposure controller, and all I want to do here is show the link between the ISO, the exposure controller, and what's happening on my final image, or the brightness of the image, because the ISO is basically doing brightness. The aperture shutter is controlling the performance, or how well the sensor performs, and we can see that with this photons to electrons graph. See my articles for more, and you can also see the link between Workspace with exposure compensation back into Workspace. I normally edit, or I treat my photography in stages. So this is outside, like I said. This is inside the camera. So while I'm photographing, I can do color changes or tonal changes. The gamma curve here is basically tonal changes. The art processor gives me access to the color processing inside the processor. Or I can do this processing in Workspace, because all this information is transferred through the what I call the RAW Plus, or the enhanced RAW file, to Workspace. And then I can save the same JPEG look, like I said, in Workspace as I would have had with a camera. So if we move on, I want to show you what we get in Workspace. So here you have Workspace. A quick overview. On the left you have your images. I have RAW files here. You can also see it here on the left. Workspace doesn't have a database format like something like Lightroom. You create your own folders and subfolders. I personally prefer that more. And one of the things about Photoshop, which I always liked, was Bridge, because I didn't like Lightroom and the image management or the managing the database system inside Lightroom. So here in Workspace, we can quickly change or the user interface by just selecting one of these. And here you basically have, for me, like a bridge view, where I have my EXIF data, my basic, the editing palette, histogram. I can get other information here, or I can go back to a working environment. I prefer this one. There are other options here. I can mark my images, whether I like this one or doesn't like it. I can look at overexposure or underexposure. I can zoom in. I can compare images. I can compare edited images. I can speed up Workspace here with this one here if you have a slower PC. And then this is very interesting here, is I can save configurations or profiles, 4 profiles. So I have a basic one here at the moment, which is basic camera configuration with no adjustments. For example, the RAW Plus file. So I used a profile in the field for this particular image here. And you can see the highlights was at +1 in the camera and -1 in the camera for the shadows. So I'm receiving my camera settings inside Workspace here now. And you can see that I had normal for gradation. I didn't use anything else. There was no exposure compensation. Although the exposure compensation you would have seen here, you wouldn't have seen it here. You would only do the correction here. And the white balance values, this is the one that was used in the camera. And then, so I'm organizing again. I'm looking at exposure, the field. I'm looking at tonal adjustments right down to here. Then I get to color. I get to the color space, the picture mode. And here you have art filters, color filters, adjust color. Here you can see the profile that I used in the OM3. And then you have basic editing settings here, like saturation, contrast, clarity. You don't have clarity and dehaze in the camera, but you have them available in Workspace. And then the noise filter. So this is the normal noise filter. Now you would see Workspace automatically select the auto here. I never do that. This is my personal editing palette here. You can configure that right at the bottom. There's an option to configure that. And I basically take functions from each one of these and put it into this one here, and I organize it in a similar way than the flow diagram that I showed you. Another important thing that you see here is you have the PC Workspace, or you have an option to connect to the camera. So I have my OM3 connected to Workspace at the moment. So I'm now working with the processor in the camera. So the camera processor is now helping my PC. But obviously there has to be a very close synchronization between the camera, TruePix processor and my PC for this to function. You can also see that. So if I switch back to the PC only, then you see that the picture won't change. It's basically the same picture as what I see when I go into the TruePix processor. I'm going to go back to the PC because it's easier. It's, for me, I don't have a speed problem on this particular PC. So what you see here is the RAW Plus file. This is important because with Olympus and OM system you have 2 RAW files. You don't see it. You only see it when you open the RAW file in Workspace. What is RAW Plus? RAW Plus is these camera settings. So you see all the adjustments we did in the camera or in the image creation process in the camera. So Olympus gave OM system and Olympus photographers access to the image building process in the processor. Because remember, the sensor doesn't have any processing capabilities. The image sensor is designed to capture data. And there are a few steps which are important for us, like speed, readout speeds, accuracy, and blah blah blah, and little noise and things like that. That is another discussion. The actual image creation process happens in the processor. So the raw data from the sensor, which is a grayscale data, goes to the processor. The RGB filter, which is placed over the sensor, that data is also available in the processor, the TruePix processor, and the white balance readings. The processor takes this data and then calculates or recalculates the color image. But we as Olympus or OM system users had access to that process via this profile function and a few other functions which normally shows. Here you can also see in the XF data what functions I used. I was on ISO 400, for example. So at the bottom here, like I said, I have the option to save a few typical profiles, like you know, a very basic profile with nothing selected in the image. But before I do that, I want to show you what the same image, in other words, now remember, if you open the raw file in Photoshop or Lightroom or any other software, so they have access to a basic raw file without this enhanced data here. So if I go to, for example, for Affinity Photo 2, this is now, here you see the basic raw data, so you don't see the enhanced data. If I go to Photolab from DxO, you see a similar, but it's not the same as the enhanced data in Workspace. Let's go to Workspace, and you can see immediately the change in the color profile that was applied in the camera. So if I want to reset that, if I want to work from scratch with from the basic data, then I can select this profile here. You can see what will happen. I'm in PC RAW processing, not in the camera. Tone curve, nothing happened there. The tone curve is this one here, which is not in the camera. No exposure compensation. I'm using the auto selection here. Picture mode, gradation, normal, nothing changes here. The tonal adjustment is also the same. I can then apply this, and that little wheel there shows that it's working, and I'm now back to a basic configuration. It's not selected, so this is not applied to the image, but I can reset it just to be safe. I don't have this particular function in this profile, that's why it wasn't resetted. This is all at the default values. I can select the camera white balance setting, and now you can see I'm getting closer to what we saw in Affinity and what we saw in DxO Photolab, for example. And now we can start working on this. Now keep in mind, we're basically working inside the TruePix processor environment here. So I can always switch back and forth. I can go to the camera like I do there. Nothing changed, because the two are just communicating now. The PC and the processor is communicating on what changes I did here. I go back to the PC, change, and then I can start editing, or I like to call it tweaking, because I don't want, I could have used the JPEG file from the OM3 there. I don't really need to change it, but I want to show you a few things. For example, you can see I lifted the lens, so it's a little skewed here. I can go down to the keystone here, and then you can see it jumps back. It immediately is perfectly aligned. A nice function with Workspace is this here, and I can move this line here to see if I'm parallel. I can check my image. I can move any one of these lines. And then I want to show you one more thing which I think is important. which can help you a lot, while we're at the start here. This color adjust function is really unique. Now remember, the saturation is what we have in the camera, the PenF, the EP7 and the OM3. We have two additional ones in Workspace, which is luminance or brightness, and hue, so we can shift the red side. We can shift our colors with the hue adjustment here. Here you can see. So if I only do, at this point saturation, and I want to do something, what I can advise you, I'm not a big fan of profiles, but I'm more enthusiastic about making changes on the go. So you would typically target the blue skies, for example. That simply means anything from 6 to 8, blue to cyan, and cyan. So by adjusting this in different variations, you can create your own preference for what you like to see in the blue sky. Foliage or nature, same thing here for greens. You can change those three here, for example, 9, 10, 11. And by working on 3 colors at a time, neighboring colors, you're working in complementary format, which is very pleasing to look at for the user. So if I want to see what is this color, if I move my cursor here over the red here, it shows me on the color wheel and in the sliders what does this color consist of, and I can see it's number 1 and 2. So if I want to brighten the red here, if I want to change the saturation here, I can just up it a little. Now here I did a typical saturation adjustment. Let's take it back. If I want to do individual colors, I need to switch that off, and then now I'm only targeting the red. The little wheel is turning, and so I added a little saturation. If I want to have it more red, I can go to the hue, same thing here, and I can just shift the red a little bit more to more red, and there you can immediately see. Now if I compare this with the original raw file, I press this here at the bottom, and there you can see the dramatic change by 2 tiny adjustments, nothing big. One of the secrets of Workspace is you don't need to, we're not recovering highlights and shadows or any of that nonsense. We're doing small tonal and color adjustments to get a final effect, or we want to isolate something, or we want to desaturate the background a little. So we're really playing with a scene, targeted adjustments without jeopardizing the natural light flow in the image. So we keep the image as is, because remember, people's emotions connect with the image and the natural light distribution in an image. If I mask and edit, or if I replace a sky, for example, and the direction of the sun is not in the same direction as the shadows in the image, the human sense will immediately notice something is wrong. You might not always be able to point to the problem, but you will be uneasy with that image. And that's why I find it so valuable to keep everything as is, but subtly change some colors, which I like to highlight, or the tonal values. That's why I'm always talking about those 2 aspects in my articles. So we can try another example. Let's look at the greens here. Where do I find this particular green on the color wheel? And it shows me it's more cyan than green. So I have between 9 and 10, I have green. This is green. I've put green to cyan, and there I have cyan. So if I want to change the color here, I need to change between 9 and 10. I can up that, and then you can immediately see the change that's happening. I want to go back to the full screen on the image that I'm editing, and I personally, for example, like to add a bit of contrast. I do it on tonal values like this here. I think it's more accurate because we're working in RGB values and not normal contrast. If I don't have any other choice, I will use the contrast in the camera. But if I have a choice, like with Workspace, I do it over here. And again, only a small S-curve. And now you can really see the difference with only a small few changes that we did between these two images. This is the original, and this is the new one. I can up the exposure just a little bit. Now, I like this bright here. This is part of the natural light flow that we've been, but I don't want to brighten it more. So I can do only a mid-tone adjustment, because I do like a little bit more brightness. I notice when you place it on the web, then it has to be a little brighter than you would normally do. And this would be my final image. I would be happy with this. And now you can also see the value of working with color and not using somebody else's color profile, which might not be 100% suited for this particular scene or this particular image.